We're very pleased that Jane Bellis from Art and Soul Tribe is with us. She's also recently been funded by Atsain, and she's going to talk about partnerships for community wellness. Is that right, Jane, in your area?
Yes, certainly is. Good morning, everybody. Barada Pawb. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. Much appreciated. I'll tell you a little first off about our organisation, and then a little bit about some of the partnerships, because we have several partnerships on the go, which is a challenge, but really, really powerful, as I'm sure you all know. And then I have a little video as well, if that's okay to share at the end. It's around 4 minutes long, with some music again, of course. And then obviously any questions, just throw them at me. So our organisation started back in 2015, and we're a group of creatives that just wanted to have some impact and just make a difference. We had a lot of collective skills to use, and we could see a lot of the damage that was done in society, and we thought, well, what can we do to make it better? So we're a little bit like the Greatest Showman meets School of Rock is how we describe ourselves. Just throwing glitter and music and fun around, but with much sort of deeper undercurrent. We do a lot of work with deep complex needs, trauma recovery, sort of very much deeper mental health support, but obviously we use the arts as really soft touch engagement tools. So we're not specifically music focused, and we don't specifically work with young people. Now, music and young people are passions of mine, so I tend to run those sides of the project. But we work with a really wide demographic, from military veterans we do projects with. We currently have a big project with the local homeless community in North East Wales. We have projects with domestic violence, abuse victims, the elderly who are lonely and isolated. So lots and lots of different projects on the go. And we're quite a small team, small organisation, small but powerful, I think. And obviously, as we know in the room today, music is medicine, and we really believe in the power of music to transcend language, transcends ability. We can engage everybody in some way or another through music. And we've done that for quite a while now, and we have a nice team of musicians and tech crew and photographers and videographers and writers and performers and circus skills performers. So there's a lot of things that we like to do, and we tend to be very person-centred. And being in the third sector, we're quite flexible and nimble, so we can get into a group when they need it and find out what that particular group needs. And in our toolkit, we have all of these things that we can bring out, and most of the time music crops up, as a general theme. And as we know, people just want to be heard most of the time, just want to be listened to, want to be heard, and want to feel a sense of purpose and belonging and community. And we know that music does that. So it's been quite a journey, because obviously with the kind of work that we do, we find that one of the biggest challenges, I'd say, that we've had is we do a lot with art and craft and drawing and painting, as well as music. And being linked into our local third sector, our local social prescribing network, particularly during and since lockdown, it's got a lot worse. We have a lot of people in crisis, even people that weren't in crisis before, now in crisis. We have a lot of burnt out leaders and organizations that are way past capacity and really trying to spin plates and juggle. So we find that we get a lot of people just thrown at us. Just go and do some art, go and do some music, you'll feel better, when there's actually some really complex needs. So we found that quite a challenge in dealing with our capacity, because we can accept anybody from any demographic. We've got a nice little group set up, but we found a lot of people were coming to us with significant needs, and we can't just sit and play some music when there's more work to be done. So one of the partnerships that we did set up, as Becca mentioned, was community wellness. So we thought, right, well, we're really good at what we do, and we know we can do all the forward-facing stuff. We can do all the skill sharing and all of the the music and the art, and we do a lot of things with growing and nature partners and outdoor well-being and all kinds of different things. But there's a big missing link here, and sooner or later it's all going to come crashing down, because too many people are in need, too many organizations are struggling. So how can we be more effective? How can we avoid duplication? How can we support each other and support leaders? And how can we have better joined up working between third sector, public sector and private sector? So we had some conversations around the table, partnered up really closely with a GP, or should I say an ex-GP. She titled herself a disillusioned GP who is kind of jumping out of the NHS, to look at how we can integrate health and a lot of the sort of the clinical side and the deeper support with all of the great work that we're doing. The community wellness was born just towards the end of last year, and we're really starting to grow now, where we have this fantastic strategic partnership working with the health board, with a lot of the local councils, with Mind, with a lot of third sector charities that work with the different demographics that we support. And we've just started to firm up better ways of thinking and thinking about duplication and providing skills matrix. So where are our gaps? Where are our strengths? How can we support each other in those strengths? And how can we fill in the gaps? And it's really challenging and really tricky, because as you know, everybody's got their thing and everybody has their projects that they're really passionate about. And sometimes it's really difficult to line up and to be able to work together effectively. So one of the things that I wanted to share with you today that I think is really important with the partnership working is being able to align values and have those open and honest conversations around, you know, what core aims are and where do we link in and where do we find that synergy. How do we line up our individual visions and missions and values with sort of the greater good? And to do that, we found that the leadership well-being has to come first. We're all great on the front line, boots on the ground, delivering. But if that leadership stuff in terms of leadership well-being and joined up thinking, if that's not there, that gives real problems with partnership working, and it becomes more of that tick box exercise where look what we've done, we've got a partnership, we've all signed into this, and here we go. And then further down the line, the cracks start to show. So we do some really nice quarterly leadership well-being stuff where we get out into the woods and we take all of the leaders of the partnership and start to think about what we're trying to do for our end users and how we're feeling, and deal with our own burnout and our own well-being and how we can support each other in terms of resources, in terms of skills. Do we have a champion bid writer in here somewhere who can help and support, you know, other things? Do we have somebody who specialises in mental health? And that's one of my roles, because I teach first aid for mental health and safeguarding. And we've started to make some real progress in terms of impact and value and kind of that whole co-production in real terms. So it's really exciting to see, but really challenging. One of the partnerships that I'm involved with is 18 partners across public and third sector. And you can imagine that. I can see some faces going, yeah, it is quite a challenge, but I think it's the way forward, and it's how we need to start thinking as we go sort of into sort of post-lockdown. And now we have the cost of living crisis. We've really got to nail this down and find better ways to work together and collaborate and manage conflict and manage difficult conversations and because it's the people at the end of the day, isn't it? It's the people that we're trying to support. They have to be the focused, and that's just how we need to start to address things. So one of our projects that's relevant to today is our youth project, and we've been working with a group of absolutely fabulous young people, and they've given permission and consent for me to share a little video that I'll share shortly. But we found through the use of music, we've been able to engage with not just one, I hate the word, one kind of young person, but we've managed to bring together a nice group of young people who have such different backgrounds and different viewpoints and different experiences, and use music to be able to connect the dots and connect people together. So one of the smaller partnerships, we've got big strategic partnerships, and then we have smaller partnerships for each project. In our youth music project, we have some venue partners. So anybody who is familiar with North Wales might have heard of the Tivoli. It's a venue that's in North Wales. Someone's smiling there. The Tiv is, you know, it's quite a well-known music venue in North Wales, and they're one of our venue partners. So we have the ability to be able to offer all kinds of things in terms of getting into a real venue and working with some well-known bands and working with the lighting desk and things like that. So people who don't necessarily want to learn to play an instrument or want to learn to sing, but really want to be involved with music, have some other options. So we've got the links there with the TIV. We have links with some local experts by experience. So a lot of local musicians who have overcome significant challenges and traumas, had a rubbish time in school perhaps, and then really work closely with our NEETs to explain, you know, how to think of things differently and how to use music to be able to storytell and to gain confidence. We have obviously the health board are involved, so we're looking at bringing in some support in terms of the deeper mental health things that start to come up within sessions. because we get, CAMs referring in because everybody's past capacity, and then we think, well, this is beyond our remit. We need to refer back out, but there is nowhere for us to signpost to because the waiting lists, they're referring into us. So we're building in that side of things, which I think is really important. So we do have spaces for our young people to go when they need that additional support, and we manage to maintain our own professional boundaries and all the difficulties that can arise with this kind of work. And it's beautiful to see. So we've had the very first session that we had, we couldn't even get people through the door. It was just, this is really frightening. This is really scary. I don't like being around new people, really significant social anxiety. We had, in our particular group at the moment, we have a lots of anxiety, depression, eating disorders, self-harm. We have a lot of autism, so specialist school provision, homeschool, NEET, just lots. Some people are just moving on to do their A-levels and go to college and, have that traditional route. But all together in this group, we've managed to sort of create this nice little family environment. And we're looking at now rolling out to see how this group, as an executive leadership youth group, can support new local young people that want to get involved with music and the arts. So it's nice to see from that very first session where nobody would even speak. And one of our singers, who I'd love to introduce at some point, and I was thinking, I wonder if they can get her to come and speak today, but she's at college. She said, I love to sing, but I will never, ever sing in public, ever. All right, we'll see about that. So it took us a few weeks, and then, well, I really want to sing, but you all have to leave the room and I'm going to face the wall and do it. Yeah, cool, that's all right. And she's just performed at a festival in front of hundreds of people, and that's only in sort of a few short weeks. I know, right? I was in the background thinking, yeah, my work here is done. So it's really, really good to see, and wider into the group, people I don't care, don't like anything, don't even like music. And then we managed to get everybody with our little cajon drums all in a big drumming circle, just tapping out a beat. You don't have to like music, just come and get involved. And then a few of the others who can play would join in, and we had a little bit of a jamming session. And that's kind of how we're kind of spreading it little bit by little bit, just using simple engagement tools. We were in the woods with Campfire Cymru last week with a fire pit circle, and we had all kinds of engagement tools that day, little bits of team building, with lighting fires and cooking together. But then we brought music back in, some songs around the campfire, guitars came out, a little bit of drumming. So, it's these little ways that we managed to bring into each session, lots of different locations and lots of different ways of doing it. This coming weekend, we're at the Tivoli all weekend, and all of our young people have been given priority and are providing all of the entertainment at a convention. So we've got some solo pieces, we've got a band that we've put together who are absolutely awesome. So they're performing a couple of little acoustic sets. So that will all be coming to you in terms of our evidence. But it's just beautiful to see. So we know music is definitely the way forward, I think. It's a tool that we all need to use. But it's how we do it and how we join up the thinking and think a little bit creatively around partnership working. So there's so much more that I would like to share with you, and there's all kinds of bits of advice and some of the stumbling blocks we found that I'd be really happy to share, but I could go on for hours and hours and hours because I'm so passionate about it. But yeah, just the best thing that I can share is really get used to that partnership working, try and reach out, make conversations, and not just in the small sector, not just within music or within third sector. It's reaching out to other people who can connect the dots for you and fill some of the gaps. For me, especially in terms of mental health, because that's where we're at. Everybody, all of us in the room, all of the people that we work with, and our beneficiaries and our participants, we're all in the same storm, aren't we? Just not in the same boat. So we'll have to bring that provision in to make us good and to make us effective at our end result. So yeah, I would love, if you're happy for me to share our video, just to show you the journey from that first session where people didn't want to come in the summer. We managed to just get them around a table to just write a few ideas of things they might want to do, right the way to the end. And one of our links was with the Children's University. I'm not sure whether anybody's involved with Children's University, but we put them through a programme over the summer, and they had their graduation just recently. So the last picture in the video is taking them through that experience to get to the graduation day. So I'm going to see, by the power of technology, if my skills are any good. Let's see. Yes, okay. Don't get too excited. The sound might not be on yet, but let's try. So let me put it on full screen and hope for the best.